Over the course of my teacher education, one of the most important aspects of education instilled on us is that no two children are the same. We have learned how students take in information using the four modalities and how students best show that learning through Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences. Through this information I've acquired, I've narrowed down my personal philosophy to three main points. Students should know the essentials: math, reading, writing, and science. Students should be at the center of their education, and students should be learning in a hands-on way. Now to my first point, that students should know the essentials: math, reading, writing, and science. This ventures on the essentialist philosophy. Even though I believe it's important for students to be proficient in these subjects, I believe it's our job to make that learning fun. It's our job to get them to want to learn. Throughout the history of education, the pendulum of philosophies has swung in completely different directions. At the start, it was all about the essentials, the essentialist philosophy. Now students determine what they learn, what is right, and what is true, the existentialist philosophy. I believe there should be a balance between the two, which brings me to my second point. Students should be at the center of their education. While the school would determine the essentials, students can have a say in what they learn in each subject. For instance, in reading, I can provide multiple books for students to read. This would spark interest in the learners and still complete the core curriculum. This philosophy is also important because it forces teachers to get to know their students. It forces them to learn how they best learn. Now, in my classroom, it will most likely consist of multiple cultures and, of course, more than one gender. This philosophy forces me to understand the differences in those cultures and genders, find out how they best learn, and create a plan for them to succeed. Now, my last point, that students should be learning in a hands-on way, follows the progressivist philosophy. Now, while my classroom can't be completely progressive because there's simply not enough time, always doing field trips and always doing experiments, I still believe the best way for students to learn is hands-on. This philosophy also allows you to reach all of the modalities and reach most of the multiple intelligences. As my career in education continues, my philosophy will most likely change, but I still believe there should be a balance between student and teacher-centered philosophies.